Okay, we have a great deal of written testimony. We have a letter from the the Division of Motor Vehicles in support of the legislation. Andrew Maguire, Tucket, Rhode Island, writes in support. Attorney Dylan Conley writes in support. Isabel Mattia from Little Compton writes in support. Kate O'Malley from Wakefield writes in support. Andrew Boardman, the president of the URI Democrats, writes in support. Kevin O'Neill, president of the Conference Exchange in Cumberland, writes in support. Terry Gorman, if you remember, his testimony referenced some emails he had. He has submitted those as written testimony. Dr. Karen Mansell from Kingston writes in support. Melinda Walsh from Westerly writes in support. Vanessa Garcia Polanco from North Providence writes in support. The United Way has submitted written testimony in support. General Treasurer Seth Magaziner has provided us a letter in support. Colonel Ann Assumpico of the Rhode Island State Police writes in support. Noreen Duncan from Tucket writes in support. We have a letter from Governor Raimondo in support of this legislation. The ACLU has sent a letter in support. The Blackstone Valley Prep Mayoral Academy, over the signature of Jeremy Chiappetta, Chief Executive Officer, writes in support. Stephanie Premiani, Director of STEM at Blackstone Valley Prep, writes in support. Sarah Anderson from Providence writes in support. The Progresso Latino Group, Mario Bueno, Executive Director, writes in support. And Elizabeth Burke Bryant, on behalf of Rhode Island Kids Count, has submitted a letter in support. In addition, Representative Erin Regan Berg signed up in support. Jean Lozada from Blackstone Academy signed up in support. Deanna Areju from Progresso Latino was in support. Stephanie Gonzalez signed up in support. Eddie Pineda signed up in support. Sarah Anderson signed up in support. Jeremy Chiappetta from Blackstone Valley Prep signed up in support. Stephanie Premiani, I believe I said that earlier, was in support. The Reverend James Keller was in support. Carol Marshall was in support. Yosha Ordula was in support. Sarah Van Horn was in support. Roxanne Barnes was in support. Might be Vivian Merchant was in support. Taylor Ellis was in support. Carla Justiano was in support. Victoria Montenegro was in support. Lillian Calderon was in support. Danny Richie from the Community Health Center of Rhode Island was in support. And Ben, might be Uchi, was in support. George Nee, on behalf of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, writes in support. And with that, we will conclude testimony on Representative Maldonado's bill 7982.